Now, so what is the role of the DC charger and what are its key parts? And what are the different type of connectors that are used in the DC chargers? And what are the limitations of the DC charger? We can see here. Similarly, in the DC charger, you can observe very carefully here. So in the DC charger, the charger itself is doing everything here. You can observe the charger itself doing is everything. So this is placed in the form of a panel or in the form of a wall mount. So here you will directly give a three-phase AC supply. Internally there is a unit called SMPS, that is called switch mode power supply unit. So here this will be that unit. This is the switch mode power supply unit. Okay, this is the SMPS unit. This SMPS unit will take the AC voltage, convert into DC by taking the information from the BMS. So same thing here also, from the battery will give information to the BMS. From the BMS, a communication signal will go. That signal will tell to the SMPS that how much amount of current that is required. At the same time, this battery will go to the protection circuit and check for all its protection. When it will check all its protection, then the safety interlocks through the help of communication. The safety interlocks will come into picture, and then the variable DC supply will go out, and this variable DC supply will charge the battery. This is how the actual DC charger works. So the difference in the AC charger and DC charger is, in the AC charger, this portion is there in the vehicle itself. In the DC charger, this portion you are keeping outside. The reason that we are keeping outside is, as I told, when you are going for high power control units, automatically the size of the equipment will increases, which ultimately leads to more space requirement in the vehicle. If the vehicle space is allowed, yes, you can use fast or DC chargers in the vehicle itself. Now, why are we calling the DC chargers as fast chargers? Because the DC chargers has a minimum capacity of 25 to 30 kilowatts. So whatever is the highest capacity in the AC, that becomes the minimum capacity in the DC. That is reason why DC chargers are considered to be the fast chargers. Now, for the DC chargers, what are the different type of connector that we should use? In the DC chargers, we should use a connector called CCS, combined charging source, CCS. CCS that is used in US. I'll explain you what is CCS, and combined charging station that is also used in Europe. And there is one more connector that they are using in Japan, that is CHAdeMO, and it is one more connector that they are using in US, that is Tesla, that is their proprietary one, and China has its own, that is GB/T standards. In India also, till now, even till Tata Tigor, we are even not the Tata Nexon. Before Tata Nexon, whatever the vehicles has come, they are using the China GB/T standard only. Now I may be showing you a little video how the DC charging station is there. After that, I'll explain again the types of these things. So I think, yeah. Are you able to see this video?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so majorly I'll just show you overall. Okay, so this is the first thing, the input supply that is from the outside, that is called R, Y, B, and the neutral that is coming here, the input supply. And these are the earthing connectors. And this video I'll share you off the shelf, but you may check. This input supply is there. This input supply is going to the relays. This is the protective relays in case of over voltage, under voltage, over frequency, under frequency. This will not take the power. So these are the relays that will take that. Now there is a auxiliary battery that is also there in the charger. This auxiliary battery will ensures that the relays are operating properly and the sensors are working properly for the charger also. And this is the most important area, that is the SMPS. As I told, this is a switch mode power supply. So this is a meter where we will measure the voltage and the current. So this is the positive and negative DC connectors. This is the current measurement sensor. You can see this is a very low resistance shunt. It is called shunt. This current measurement sensor, and it is connected to positive terminal and it is connected to negative terminal. The current is measured in the negative terminals of this one. So now from here the terminals are going the DC plus and DC minus to the, and earthing also, DC plus, DC minus and earthing also will go to the charger. And these are all the control pins. Basically in the GBBT we are using GBBT standard. That's why we are having so many control pins. I will explain you in the DC charger of GBBT standard why there are so many control pins. And these are all some sort of a internal power supplies that is giving for the light and the fan and the cooling purposes. And one more important equipment is called RCD, residual current discharge. If there is any sort of leakage current is there, that immediately that leakage current also, if they see less than, if they see 30 milliampere, immediately the charger will stop. That is immediate stop charging. And this is the cable. Actually this is the cable that is going out. This is the cable size depends upon the current. This cable we are using for 200 ampere, so that's why the cable size is really high. So this is the main display unit, and I'll show you here. Yeah, these SMPS are modular type. So whatever the SMPS that I have shown you here, these SMPS are of modular type, and this module SMPS. So there are 6 SMPS, each of 3 kilowatt. 3 kilowatt each SMPS. These are modular because if we use only one SMPS, if any problem is there, one SMPS, the entire system will in under faulty condition. So that's why this is a modular SMPS, so that you can, if in any one of the SMPS is unit is faulty also, you can just replace that SMPS and then you can continue your system. So this video, how they have shown also the video. And here internally there is a communication. This is something like a chassis where we'll push it here. There is a communication ports for the SMPS also here. And this is the front panel where you have emergency button and the display screen. So this is the electric vehicle gun. I think I'll just play from here, not to waste the time. So there is a display. Whenever we start, it will show the display. This is emergency button. For communication, RFID is there. This is the gun, and that is the lock. And from here, from the back side, you can see this is the size of the panel. This is looking something like this. So this is a 3-phase power supply that we are taking to here. So your main interface will come something like this. Connector is available, and this is our meter, 3-phase meter. It will measure the voltage, current and power. It will give the signals to the relays if everything is fine. This is a 3-phase system. So these are the contactors and relays, and this is the cable sideway. For top are the vents and the air exhaust things are there. So they would have mentioned for self diagnostics what are the observations. This is we purchase it from Delta. It's Delta charger. It is 18 kilowatt. We got something around 2.8 lakhs or something in 2017 at IIT Delhi. So I'll share the complete video link with you. You may just go through that. Yeah. Oh, where is my pointer? Yeah, sorry. So these are the different type of DC charging types are there. In this charging type, the first one is called CCS, Combined Charging Station or Combined Charging System, CCS Combo 1. In this CCS Combo 1, if you observe carefully, this is how it is looking like. So there is a, these are the wires that is having line and a neutral, and there is a protective earth, there is a proximity pilot and the control pilot, and there is a DC plus and DC minus. So why this name combined has come is because it is having the control, it is having the option for both DC charging as well as AC charging. So if you observe carefully, this is the type 1 connector. Okay, this type 1 connector, single phase type 1 connector is having line and neutral single phase, and there is a control pilot, there is a proximity pilot, and there is a protective earth. Simultaneously they are using a DC also. Why they have gone for CCS and is based on one important thing. See, in the vehicle, anyway you are giving a charger. Why don't we use that and why don't we use DC? If we use both, the charge will be more. That is the main funda here. There is nothing else here. So that is the reason why it is called CCS Combo 1. And in the CCS Combo 2, the extra thing is instead of single phases, they are using 3 phases. Okay, you observe carefully. So same thing. It is also type 2 connector. That is the reason it is called Combo 2. Type 2 connector. There is a proximity pilot, control pilot, L1, L2, L3, and the neutral. Okay, and in between there is a protective earth. So this will be used both, because what is actually why they have come up with this combo chargers. Why they would have not directly gone to the DC chargers. The combo chargers especially is a transition charger, we can say. See, right now whatever the chargers that we are using is AC chargers, and that AC chargers is having line and neutral and all the stuff. Whereas nowadays we want to go for fast charging. Man, we cannot held up with only AC. So we want go with the DC. So if I directly replace everything with the DC, it will be difficult. So that's the reason why if I give a connector in between, it is having both combined AC and DC. This will be much more efficient. So in the CCS Combo 1, the maximum current that you can or power that you can go up to is 350 kilowatt. In Combo 2 also, you can go up to 350 ampere. The voltage rating is from 200 to 1000 volts, and up to you can go for 350 kilowatt. Now the important observation that we need to make here is in the type 1, type 2 connectors or in the AC connectors, we have gone and we have seen the current control is happening to the pulse width modulation. Whereas in this scheme, we are not doing with the pulse width modulation. Instead, we are going for the PLC communication. This PLC communication is called power line carrier communication. So this is called the power line carrier communication. So generally this will looks like this, and these power lines, the control lines will be combined with the power lines. The information will be carried only on the power line so that the size of the connector will be reduced further. That was the aim. Now what next? This is a DC charger CCS Combo 2. Now in the future, or I mean it's in the Japan and US, mostly they are going with DC charger only pure DC. There is no CCS. But in Indian market, the Nexon has introduced this CCS system now. So maybe like another next 3-4 years, maybe the CCS only will go. After that, the only term that is come, the only the model will come, that is called this one, Type 4 charger, that is CHAdeMO. Okay, so this is only DC charger that it can go up to 400 kilovolts, and the voltage is right now it is in between 50 volt to 500 volt, having a current of 400 ampere. So it can go up to 200 kilowatt, only DC, there is no AC. And now they are even trying to go with 1000 volt up to 400 ampere. That means 400 kilowatt for buses. They are going with this kind of charging. Now, how this name CHAdeMO has come? So in the Japanese language, Ocha demo, Igake Deshuka, which means you will have a tea while your car is charging. That's how they have put the name CHAdeMO. So in this CHAdeMO, we have total 7 signal pins and 3 power pins. So the power pin is DC plus, DC minus, and the ground wire. And here you can have everything: charge start or stop, charge enable or disable, and this is for future. And this is a CAN high, CAN low, and there is a proximity pilot. So in the DC charger, because it is going up to 400 kilowatt, everything they built in one particular charger, in one particular connector. This connector is called the CHAdeMO connector, and it is allowing up to 400 kilowatts. Only DC, there is no AC. Now no AC, only DC will be there. And the communication in the CAN communication, because all the vehicle parameters are in the communication. So the CAN communication. So this is the feature. Complete DC with CAN communication, having entire control in the charger itself. So they'll not be giving any control to the vehicle. Entire control will taken care of the charger. So any questions?
And the speed would be, how is that? The charging speed?
Yeah, the power. It will be a flash charge within 10 minutes or 15 minutes. You can, for example, if you talk about this 15 kilowatt charger, which is there using in Mahindra e-Verito. So you can see 15 by 400. You can flash charge like anything, maybe 3-4 minutes. You can quickly charge and go.
Before you finish your tea.
Yes, that is what they are told. Like, you will have a tea while your car is charging.
Interesting. But this will also account for a lot of heat management strategy in the charging station and the charging unit itself, right? This guns.
Yes. So basically, the entire research is going on the power electronic component of this charger. How small we can make and how best cooling that we could give is the option.
Yeah.
Even I have seen personally myself in some buses in China, they are using super capacitors. Their entire top of the vehicle of the top of the bus, they are using super capacitor. And then I mean, that technology has not much revealed outside world, but they are using that. I requested them like, why are you using that? So they have given some interesting points that, so battery, if you try to charge the battery at extremely high power, you need the cooling system of the battery also in that range. Yes, if it is okay whenever you are going for 1000 volts, that means you have to make sure that your battery is of that much capacity. Also, when you are trying to charge for very high current, the battery temperature will increase. The interesting topic they told me was the supercapacitor. Complete on the top of the vehicle itself, there is supercapacitor. Supercapacitor has an infinity number of cycles of charge and discharge, and it can take current of infinite amperes. So this 400 kilowatt, they can take maybe less than a minute, and they are using some sort of a converter at the backside to slowly charge the battery. So like whenever there is a stop, maybe
just like an additional reservoir.
Yes, exactly. So that type of things has already come. So maybe we have to look up like
Maybe the space, they would require a lot of space. Yeah.
Yes, because they are using in the battery multi-axle, bus.
Mm.
There is a big space that is already there, complete top. Nobody is utilizing. They are utilizing in that way. Yeah. So this is a type 4 charging. So the type 4 charging, so generally should be used at the backside, because the battery pack is the BMS is generally sitting here backside. So the backside itself that is charging. So the communication between them is the CAN communication, and all the supply. This is it should comply with the safety regulations in accordance with this IEC 61851-24. And one more important proprietary connector that we were discussing is the Tesla connector. This is the Tesla connector. In this Tesla connector, they are not using any sort of AC. Whatever the actual connector that they were there already, that is L, N, L1, L2, L3 and N, those they have converted into DC plus and DC minus. This is most intelligent move. Without replacing a huge infrastructure, they are using the existing infrastructure as it is. Indirectly, they are converting the type 2 converter into a fast charger converter, where there will be two terminals of DC and two terminals of DC plus and two terminals of DC minus, and rest as it is same. There is a protective earth, there is a control pilot, there is a proximity pilot. Okay, so this is how they make a move of very high, very intelligent move in this one, and that is the reason why they could charge it very fastly, because more amount of wire is there for them to fast charge. And this is as we have already seen, this is one more DC charge proprietary connector where they are using only two wires. This is just one. They want to reduce the size of the wire. That's why these two wires combined into a single cable. DC plus is combined into one and DC minus combined one. So the weight of the wire when you are plugging into charging should be less. So rest as it is. Control pilot, proximity pilot, and this neutral wire, everything will be the same. Here. Now, if we see into this DC charger of Chinese, they are using this kind of DC charger, and they are having. That is the reason why I have shown in Delta charger also there are so many pins because of this. So there is an auxiliary plus and auxiliary minus. What this auxiliary plus and auxiliary minus is doing is, this auxiliary plus and the auxiliary minus is directly connecting with the BMS relay, protective relay. So this will supplying the BMS protective relay such that when the BMS protective relay is off, then this auxiliary power will on. Then this safety lock will be locked. Otherwise, no. So this is a rude move because that they could have done using CAN communication. This is unnecessary actually in GB by T standards, and it is having DC plus and DC minus, and it is having CAN high and CAN low, and there is also having the proximity pilot. So you can see proximity pilot has two wires, CAN high, CAN low has two wires, auxiliary plus auxiliary minus has two wires, and two more wires they have given for the future purpose. So that is reason why there are so many number of control pins that are there in the Chinese GB by T standards. So whereas this DC plus and DC minus will be as it is. However, they have gone a voltage till 1000 volts, current of 250 ampere. So it is approximately like 250 kilowatt. With the help of GB by T standard, we can easily go. And as I ask again, like, can we increase this DC power to little more? Like instead of 400, can we go to 500, 600 more? This is called flash charge. Is it possible? Yes, flash charge, it is possible provided if you overcome these limitations. The limitations are higher losses in the charger and battery when you go for high amount of power. Also, only like 70 to 80% of battery can be charged with fast C rating. when you so it will, when you go for higher and higher C rating, obviously the lifetime and the lifetime of the battery is directly proportional to the C rate. So the lifetime of the battery also will goes down, because you are charging with high speed till 80% only, you are not charging till 100%. So that 20% you are not utilizing at all. And when you are going for higher and higher current, obviously you should carry more thicker and larger cables to carry such amount of current. So in a summation point, you can see these are the actual connectors that are there. This is the CHAdeMO vehicle inlet. This is the CHAdeMO charger connector. How it is happening, this plus and minus, and this the signal pins and the control pins. This is how they are doing here, and this is where the lock will happen. And here in the CCS, this is the vehicle inlet. This is the charging gun that is there in the Europe. Type 2 CCS, the again the type 1 they are using in the US. So here you can see, that is most important thing. You can directly charge with AC, or you can charge with DC. You can charge both. That is why it is. So that is why it has two connectors. It is also two connectors. Either you can charge with both AC and DC, or only you can charge with AC. And here also it is the same thing. Here you can charge only with the AC, or you can charge with AC and DC. That is the reason why it is called combined charging system, because existing infrastructure is AC infrastructure. So that's why they are moving with CCS, so that they can use both fast charging benefits, as well as if there is no availability, slow charging benefit also they can get. That is the reason why the CCS move is taken place here. And in the GB-BT one, it is only in the GB-BT, again AC and DC is there. In the AC it is type 2 connector. In the DC it is having so many number of pins, something like this. So this is about little more into. And as you have already calculated, how does it long, how long it does it take to charge an electric vehicle? The amount of time depends upon battery capacity to the charging power. So for example, here I have already taken. So the for 40 kilowatt hour battery set, if you are going for 6.6 kilowatt hour onboard charger for AC charging, the estimated time is 40 kilowatt hour. If you go for home charging of 3.7 kilowatts, and 40 kilowatt hour by 3.7 kilowatt, it will take 11 hours amount of time. And if you go for AC charging of 11 kilowatt, 40 kilowatt hour divided by the 6.6 kilowatt charge if you take, because even though the charging station of 11 kilowatt, your onboard charger is having a maximum of 6.6 kilowatt onboard charger, it will take 6 hours 30 minutes. Now if you go for fast charge of 50 kilowatt, your battery is of 40 kilowatt hour, and if you charge with 50 kilowatt, it will charge for 50 minutes. Similarly, if you go for 250 kilowatt charger is there, and you are charging only 40 kilowatt hour, it will take only 10 minutes to charge. So just a simple explanation is been given here, how the charging power versus the time versus the power, whether if you go for AC charge and DC charge. So with this, I think I would like to conclude. If you have any questions, I'll be free to tell. So as per the queries, I will share the related materials to this immediately, and I'll share the links. I'll share the evaluation component. If you tell me if you need anything else, I will also note and then share it with you.
The last session from Professor Bhuvaneshwari maybe should be shared, right?
Yeah, that is not there.
That is not shared.
The video?
Yeah.
Video as well as slides. If
Slides.
not.
I'll ask Professor Bhuvaneshwari, and I think we are already collecting everything into one particular OneDrive. We may share that drive with,
Correct.
all included at one place, so that it will be benefit to you. Yeah.
The last session on ADAS was also not available, no, the video?
It's there, Girish. We know it's there.
Yeah. So I